Well, folks, it's finally happened. Um, I have to say that I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I'm a little disappointed. If you haven't heard already, Para is shutting down the Para app. And any one of you who've been around my channel for a while know that I was a big proponent of using Para in the beginning of when they were here. They had the whole tip transparency thing, and I thought it was a great tool for people doing DoorDash. And it certainly helped me when I was doing deliveries. And I was able to see how much someone was tipping and make an informed decision. And that was really the whole point of Para, letting the independent contractors know how much they were getting paid and being honest and not hiding how much you're going to get paid, not paying these games and doing this whole, oh, you might make a little bit more thing. And unfortunately, because of the way they had to expose that, they they got sued. Well, I don't know. Did they get sued? I don't think they got sued. I think they got a couple cease and desist letters from DoorDash and eventually ended up having to shut down the tip transparency portion of their app. And that meant that they had to pivot. And unfortunately, I don't think that they pivoted quite fast enough. I was contacted very early on in the development of the app while it was still in beta, and I had made some suggestions about what I thought should be included in the app. And they didn't, it just wasn't part of their vision. And I don't think they had enough coders on staff to deal with it at the time. So things like mileage tracking, things like earnings tracking, and a number of other things that just they would have been at the forefront, but instead they kind of lagged behind, and they eventually did add those kinds of things in, but I think it was too little, too late. They did add like a community feature to it, which I thought was good, but really only beneficial if you lived in a really large market where you could get a lot of data and a lot of people communicating about the markets. In my area is just way too small for that to happen. So they eventually shifted to ParaWorks, trying to get people to find work, and it just for my market again, it just wasn't a fit for me. My market is too small to benefit from what they were trying to do. And as much as they hung on there, uh, I have to give them kudos for that. But even David in the video where they talked about Para going away, he mentioned that there are other apps out there that just do these things that they do much better and are a lot more fully featured. And like I said, I think had they come in early on and done those things and added those features, they would have had a killer app. But it just that wasn't the goal of the company, right? The goal of Para has always been to connect people like you and me to good paying gig work. And the market, uh, the market isn't ready for that yet. And so they're working on ways right now. I think they're coming out with something called Gig Safe, and they're working on ways to do that, to connect you and me to good paying gig work. And I have to say, hey, yeah, Steve and David and Jimmy and there's one other guy, I forget his name, from the early days. You guys, you did a great job. I think you put together a great product. I think your hearts are in the right place. And I just hope that you can find a way to focus your desire to help gig workers and connect with the right companies, because that's really what we need. People are having a lot of hard times right now finding good work. A lot of people are going back to W 2 jobs. I mean, I've always had a W 2. This has been a side gig for me. And so I'm not dependent on it. And so in a way, an app like Para was very helpful to me in the beginning because I had a limited amount of time and I could choose those orders that paid the best because, hey, this one that's showing me 350 is actually an $8 trip. So I wish you guys the best, and I hope GigSafe is a great product. In fact, I know it'll be a great product, and I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to do in the future. Um, if you want to look, I'll put a playlist together of all the old para videos that I did. Not that I think, I mean, they might have some archival or historical purposes, but other than that, yeah, that's all I have to say. And sorry to see the app go, and I look forward to what they're going to do next.